So in my daily interactions with people, in conversations, during coaching calls, most of the people that come with problems like self-esteem, or I'm dealing with a fear of failure, or I feel stuck, or procrastinating a lot and I want to change that, or I feel overwhelmed and stuff. One of the things I've realized is the common thread in nearly all of the challenges that we face is identity. And yet it's the one thing that we ignore, and yet it's the one thing that drives our lives: identity. Now, I'd like to talk specifically about self-esteem, because self-esteem is at the core of who we are. What is self-esteem? Self-esteem is basically the value you attach to yourself, the worth that you believe you have, is who you think you are, your opinion of yourself. Now, self-esteem is usually looked at as something that I can either increase my self-esteem, or I have a low self-esteem, or this. And yet, in reality of it, our self-esteem is just constant. Why? If self-esteem is the value that you attach to yourself, how does that value increase or decrease? Here is my submission. Self-esteem is like, right now I'm recording on my phone, for example. The closer I get, the larger my image becomes. The farther I get away from the phone, the smaller my face becomes, the smaller the image becomes. And the closer I get, the bigger my face becomes. That is just like self-esteem. Your value as a person is like right here at the screen, right? And the closer I get to the screen, the bigger my opinion, perception of this value is. Does that make sense? And the farther I get away from the screen, like the more distance there is between me and that value that is me. The phone hasn't moved, the camera hasn't moved, I have moved. So this distance between us is usually what we refer to as self-esteem. So the closer you get in your awareness, in your revelation and understanding of who you are, of your value, of your worth as a person, which never changes, which is constant. Like all of us as human beings have the same value as human beings. We are all worthy of being here. We are all worthy as human beings. However, the way we perceive this value depends and varies from human to human. The closer I perceive it, the closer I understand it, the closer what's the word I'm looking for? The closer my opinion is, the closer I am to this value, the closer and the richer my opinion, my self-esteem will be. Because then I realize, you know what? I am valuable the way I am. It doesn't matter who says what. It doesn't matter what I do. I am still valuable as a person. And yet the farther away we go away from it, the farther our awareness, our revelation, our understanding of this value is, the more it will influence, one, our identity, our created identity, and also our behavior. Because then I'm so far away from my actual value that I feel like, oh my God, I'm not enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not lovable enough. I'm not, whatever enough, because I am so far away, basically almost detached from my opinion, from my actual value. So this influences my opinion of who I am, and therefore influences the way that I live my life. Where does identity come in all of this? Identity is this perceived value of who we are. Identity is self-esteem. You don't have a self-esteem problem. You have an identity problem. Just let that sink in, right? Wow. I actually felt that as I said it. We don't have a low self-esteem problem. We have an identity problem. Because identity is really who we perceive ourselves to be. Identity is who we define ourselves to be. Identity is the person that we create and define ourselves by. And isn't this what we look at as self-esteem? Because self-esteem is then the result of that. It's then how we carry ourselves and we think, no, I'm not confident enough and therefore I can't speak on stage. I'm not lovable enough and therefore I don't think I could be approached by any man or any woman. I don't think I am worthy of love. I don't think I am dash enough. You don't have a self-esteem problem. You have an identity problem. Redefine your identity. Get closer to who you are as a person, who you were created to be. You see, transformational work and personal development work is not about redefining who we are or finding out, making up this new person. It's not about recreating ourselves. It's really about peeling off the layers that we've created because of our experiences, because of our perceptions, because of what people have said about us, and programs that are running within us and stuff. And all of these layers that we've stacked up, and just breaking them down and getting back to the core of who we actually are, the core of who we were created to be, the core of our identity, our spiritual identity that is exactly as our creators. And the closer we get to that core identity, the closer we get to that value, innate value that we possess as human beings, the bigger we view our identity, the bigger we perceive our self-esteem as, and the bigger that we think we are, the more we expand in our identities. Ooh, yeah. Just let that sink in for a minute. And yet, the farther away that we are from this core person that we were created to be, that we were created as, the fullness of who we are, the completeness, the lacking nothing, the more than enough, the complete person that we are, the farther we get away from understanding and from relating with this core person that we are, the more disempowering our lives are, the more less confident, the more fearful, the more we walk like we don't know who we are, the more stuck we think we are, the more lost we think we are. My charge to you today is start to peel off those layers. Just start to peel off the layers of beliefs that you built. That because this happened, therefore I'm this. You know, start to shed off those layers. And as much as we need to do this ourselves, we actually cannot do it by ourselves. Get a coach, get a mentor, get somebody to walk with you through this process. But whatever you do, just start to peel off those layers, because that is how you live an empowering life. That is how you actually live within your full potential. That's how you start to unlock your full potential. When you start to get direct access, when you start to get closer and closer to who you actually are. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Tell me what has stood out for you. Share with me, write me an email, and let me know what resonated with you today. Bye-bye.